have to move somewhere else. That's what you want to do. What's up, guys? It is your girl Sarah from Sarah Styles here. Welcome to my Monday Live. This is every single Monday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard, open to anyone who would like to come on, any resellers or entrepreneurs. I'm opening it up, I think, to entrepreneurs too, because we are all entrepreneurs in some fashion and can learn from each other. So if you want to come on, send me a DM on Instagram or an email. Apparently not everyone has Instagram. So feel free to send me an email, sarahstylesllc@outlook.com. But every Monday, 6 p.m. at Mountain Standard. So today I'm so excited to have Logan and Lauren on today. Logan is a full-time reseller with her boyfriend who does it part-time. You can see her amazing warehouse in the background. It's like goals for all of us resellers who want to do full-time. And Lauren is a high school student. Like, that is just wild. I have a son her age and he is not reselling and doing YouTube and all of this. So to each their own, but I'm so excited to talk to both of you guys today. Welcome everyone in the chat. Duncan and Melissa are here. Welcome, welcome. Why don't you guys, if you want to give yourself a little bit of an introduction, how long you've been reselling, maybe what platforms you resell on, anything else that I left out, feel free to. We can start with you, Logan.
All right. I have like my second screen here with my notes because I knew I was going to forget something. So I am a full-time reseller. My boyfriend works part-time in the business also. So we're a 2-member team of Coastal Resell. We sell just about everywhere online. So eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Citizen, Tradesy, Grailed, Facebook Marketplace, and then our warehouse is open to the public, so in person also. I am a marine biologist by trade. That was my previous career. I just went full-time in February of last year. So we moved up spaces pretty quickly to a warehouse, which is exciting. But half of our business is selling clothing on those platforms, and half of our business is selling liquidation. So we sell general merchandise from Target, Lowe's, and Amazon. That's what the warehouse is for.
So you buy liquidation lots off of like Amazon, Target, and other places?
Yes. So we buy full truckloads of inventory. So we get 26 pallets at a time.
No wonder you have a warehouse. And it's not, so your liquidation stuff is not clothing. It's like home goods and stuff, or?
Yeah, it's a lot of home goods. We do get clothing. I sell a lot of Target clothing. But yeah, I mean, home improvement, ceiling fans, light fixtures, just about everything.
Oh, so you have to see, I don't want to venture out. I see people who post like home goods. I'm like, oh, I should get into it. And then I think about shipping it and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Like with clothing, I put it in a poly mailer and I'm done. I just ship out a purse and I'm like, damn, I had to pull a box out. Like, I'm interested to hear, because you do have the dashboards, so you can give us, and you don't have to share numbers, but you can give us a more definitive split out of kind of home goods compared to liquidation, compared to all that stuff. So I'm going to ask you some questions on that, Logan, but we will come back to you, Lauren. Welcome. Yeah. I'm so excited to have you here. Give us a little rundown. You're a teenager, you were in high school, and also resell obviously on the side. That's your full-time job, but tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, so like she said, I'm Lauren. I'm actually 15 years old, so a freshman in high school. But I've actually been reselling for about a year now. So I started when I was 14, and I really love it. Currently, I'm only selling on Poshmark and Mercari, but I literally the other night just set up like an eBay store. So I'm like super excited to start on eBay and everything. And yeah, I just love everything reselling.
So you're 14. How do you get into reselling? How did you like start?
Well, so like originally, like I love going to garage sales and stuff. Like even before I knew it was a thing, I went to garage sales like every weekend with my mom and dad. And so I'd always like loved buying things. And then occasionally I would like resell it on Facebook Marketplace, just make a few bucks here and there. And then when I don't even remember how I found Poshmark, but that's where I started, was on Poshmark. And then I kind of went into Mercari. But once I realized that it was actually a thing and that people were making tons of money, I set up an account under my mom, of course, because you have to be 18 to sell on like those sites and stuff. So technically it's not my account, but I'm doing all the stuff behind it. So
That is just wild. And I wish that they had this when I was your age too, because I would have totally done. I loved thrifting and all things, but it wasn't really like eBay. To age myself, eBay wasn't even really a thing when I was in high school. It had just kind of come out towards the end of high school, but it was like auctions, right? Like it's not like what it was now. But it's amazing that you're doing this and you have the motivation to do it. So we'll definitely talk about some tips on how to manage it all, right? Because you're going to school and just trying to figure it all out. Logan, we do have a question for you in the chat. Question for Logan: does she post normal stuff on Grailed or just higher end? Grailed is just men's. Yes?
Yeah, it's just men's. I post everything. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't post everything. I kind of stopped posting on there because I wasn't getting normal sales to where it was worth my time. But I was posting everything on there. So I still have a decent amount of listings, but I'm not putting anything new. But I've literally sold like Columbia button downs, like regular t-shirts, not vintage or anything like that. So I think everything sells over there, but I have heard that it's mostly higher end that does really well.
Oh, I thought it was like the Tradesies for men, because Tradesies has like lists, right, that you should stay within, right?
I don't know. I post everything on Tradesy.
Oh, see, well now I'm just, because I posted on Tradesy for like a month during the pandemic when I had no inventory, and then I was like, well, I've made one sale in a month, so I'm going to stop doing that. But I only did my high end stuff, so maybe I just only did my high end stuff. But you post everything to Tradesies as well?
I mean, I select things that I think will do better over there. So I don't post like I don't post the Target clothing on there.
Right.
But I will go pretty much anything over like $30. If I'm going to list it for $30, I say it can go over on Tradesy.
Interesting. So I want to talk about your split out a little bit, because you're on lots of platforms. One, managing it all, because that was something I found when I got on lots of platforms. But I'm also like, I have kids at home, and it's like a side kind of gig for me, and I'm not very organized. It appears on social media that I am organized. Y'all ask my husband. It's not my my nature to be organized. And so trying to manage it on multiple platforms is really complex, and trying to take it off, especially if you don't list it on each platform. So how do you kind of manage all of the inventory that you have and the different platforms and stuff that it's on?
So I use List Perfectly to cross list. So I'm hitting 6 platforms with one item in 3 to 4 minutes. And then I delete things as soon as it sells.
And so do you use List Perfectly to delete from there?
No, I actually delete by hand. I have issues with List Perfectly actually pulling up the listings so I can delete them. I don't know if it's just, an issue on my end. It's just, I'm always moving around and not always near my computer. So it's just easier to me to hop for me to hop on my phone and do it. And it takes me like 30 seconds. So.
But then how do you remember, or you just go and search? Because you have you have to have a lot of inventory. Like how many listings do you have?
I mean, I know when I see something sell, I'll know in my head if I listed it on another platform. I mean, everything goes on Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, no matter what. So I'll just know by the quality of the item or the price. Oh, I have this on Tradesy, so I need to go over there real quick.
But you have it on all 3 main platforms, so then that makes sense. But Poshmark I'm not on Mercari. Poshmark is such a pain because you can't just search for it.
I know, it's so frustrating. I search by brand.
But they're not all brands. I did this on my Instagram, and everyone was like, just search by brand, but not all brand. They don't have all brands. And so like when it's something like Free People, okay, that's not hard. But when they don't have a brand, then I have to like search by category, and I'm like white dress. And then I have to scroll through all my 300 white dresses until I find it. And in that length of time, a child has interrupted me and I forget to take it off, and I have to cancel on Poshmark. I have like 2 or 3 canceled items a week on Poshmark because I forget to take them off. Thankfully, I don't forget eBay, right? Because you get a ding on eBay. So I don't forget eBay. Liz is saying Tradesies has a bad rap for payout, so people probably only select certain things they want to expand the exposure on.
They just take a really long time to pay out. It's like 21 days. from I think it's 21 days from delivery of the item.
Because they want to make sure for returns, right?
Yeah, I think they have a 14-day return window. I can't remember.
That makes sense. Melissa's saying, I'm not on Mercari, but I know you guys are. You can search on Mercari now. It sounds,
Yeah.
I'm kind of following this Mercari. I'm not organized, so I cannot branch out to another thing, but maybe eventually I'll get there. And Mercari now has, I don't know if you guys have heard or if you're in it, they have like a, I don't know, like a next level, something that you had to like apply to be a part of. Have you seen that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I applied, but I haven't heard anything. And that was like, I think almost a year ago I applied to be like a pro seller.
Yeah. Okay. I just saw it now, but so it's been around for that long and they haven't.
Yeah. I've never heard back from them. So.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. I was hopeful. I think Poshmark needs to do something like that, right? For like the full-time resellers to have, like even like a store like eBay or something to where we're like, I don't know, we could get analytics maybe, or even like views or something, you know, a couple like little things that would help us, but not for the regular sellers who don't necessarily want it, but for the rest of us. So Lauren, you're on Poshmark and Mercari, right? And then you just got eBay. So how do you manage it all? I see your organization in the background.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It took me a while to get there. I was like, I'll be able to find it. No.
Yeah, I literally just got this a few weeks ago, so it was not like this before, so don't feel bad. But yeah, I don't know. I needed to know a little more about eBay and stuff. I'm just kind of, I don't know, I'm waiting till summer, I guess is what I'm gonna say. It's kind of my excuse. But since like with school and everything, I don't really have as much time as in the summer, so currently I'm just focusing on Poshmark and Mercari, and then I eventually, like in the summer when I have more time, I want to get like Bindu or List Perfectly to where I can use that to like cross post, because currently I'm doing it all like on my own and that takes a lot of time. So I don't know.
Have you seen, and I wish, and I'm going to take some of the classes, but eBay has like an eBay seller school. It's free. Have you heard
really?
seen this? Yeah.
No.
I think it's just ebay.sellerschool.com maybe. I'll put it in the description. But I looked at it and I was like, well, that would have been nice. I known about it.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, and it's like I haven't taken any of the courses, but I'm still going to go through and take some courses. I think there's probably a lot that I can learn straight from eBay rather than like random things you hear on the internet or like trial and error. Like, oops, that didn't work.
Yeah.
But it's completely free, and then it like walks you through all of the different, especially if you're like brand new, right? It walks you through like shipping and listing and like how to tell all kinds of different things. So I'll put that in the description for anyone who's watching this video, as well as Logan and Lauren's stuff. I didn't have time before this call, but I will put their links in the description down below. Let's see. I just want to welcome some people. Liz is here. Welcome, Liz. Good evening. Good evening. Searching by brand sucks. Yes, totally. Melissa and her Vendu. She's like trying to convert me so bad. I heard Mercari was rooting out professional sellers. Maybe it's only for those that aren't in their program. Any thoughts? I don't sell on Mercari.
Rooting out as in
like maybe not wanting professional sellers and more just like
not wanting them on the platform.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that.
We'll see if Liz has anything else to add to that. I feel like Poshmark's headed that direction. I don't know if you guys are noticing or feeling that as well, that they're not really wanting. I don't ever feel like they've wanted full-time sellers, not like against full-time sellers, but definitely not like proactively wanting us and giving us resources that we need. But I feel like over the course of 2020, it's gotten worse. Are you guys noticing that at all?
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely don't think they support resellers. Otherwise, they would give us analytics.
Yes, right.
Mercari gives us analytics.
Really? Okay, so what's your, both of you, what's your Poshmark to Mercari like ratios? How much do you sell? You don't have to give exact numbers, but like how do they compare to each other?
I'm like thinking. So our full breakdown of our business is 50% liquidation, 50% clothing. So clothing is what we list on those platforms. I would say eBay is half. So 25% of our total sales is eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And then Poshmark far exceeds Mercari. We do probably like anywhere from $600 to $1,000 a month on Mercari. So it's still worth it to list, but it's definitely not as busy as the other ones.
Yeah. And what about you, Lauren? Are you noticing Mercari's less than?
Yeah, for a while there, like a few months ago, if you had asked that question, I would have said like 75% Poshmark and then 25% Mercari. But Poshmark's been really slow lately, and Mercari's been picking up. So I don't know. It's more of like, I wouldn't say 50-50 right now, but Mercari's really picking up. So I don't know.
I'm kind of like just watching other sellers. I'm not on Mercari, but just watching what other resellers are doing, and like if they are coming out with this pro, like if they're coming out with this pro, and maybe eventually they'll get back to people. But if they are coming out with this pro, I feel like they want to go in that direction, and Poshmark isn't going in that direction. That it could be could outdo Poshmark, right? And I feel like most resellers, I'm the same way. eBay's like a lot, like 80%, 60 to 80% or something of my sales. And then Poshmark is the only other one that I sell on. So I'm not committed. I'm not ready to give up Poshmark yet. It annoys the crap out of me sometimes, but it's still, you know, a decent amount of money that I'm like, well, it's already there, right? Like, should I not do it? But I have my eye on Mercari because if they have analytics, hello, and if they're going to be a little bit more supportive. Liz is saying, and it's interesting, Liz. So Belle and Blue, I interviewed her this weekend. If you guys don't know Belle and Blue, she's amazing. Her TikToks, I found her on TikTok, and she's just funny. She's a reselling mom. She has little kids like me, but she's just funny on there. I started chatting with her, and she is a boss. Like she does on Poshmark alone, between 10 and 20 grand a month. Some months as high as 30 grand, which is like wild. So I did do an interview with her, and we're going to learn all of her secrets. I am a mom, and so it'll come out in like a month. So if you want to see my interview with her, hit that subscribe button and notifications, and keep an eye out for it by the time I edit it and stuff. But she has had TV news articles done on her out of LA, and she does 6 figures a year since 2012, and Manish knows her very, very well. I feel like there's a couple like big resellers on Poshmark that they are aware of, and they maybe don't have to follow the algorithm like the rest of us. And then the rest of us, it's not. Because I don't know, like, do you think you could make that amount on Poshmark? I tried so hard for so long, and I just could never get past a certain number.
No, I have 1,300 active listings on Poshmark, and it's still like half of eBay. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do to like pass the mark that we're at. I think the most I've hit in a month on Poshmark is like maybe just over 2,000.
Yeah, that's how I think my biggest month on Poshmark was like 27, but most of the time it's like right around 2 grand. And I feel like they kind of cap you because Manish said, I said Manish. It looks like Manish. Sorry, Manish. So I apologize. But he has said in like Poshfest and Posh and Sips and stuff that he wants it to be an equal playing field. He doesn't want big sellers to come in and take over it. And it, like on eBay, right? Like the big sellers obviously have favoritism in the algorithm because they're selling and they're getting all of the stuff. And he has said before that he wants it to be an equal playing field. And I feel like they don't allow you to go further, right? Because I'm with you, Logan. I have yet to be able to like, and then the second I got on eBay, like my business has grown because of eBay, right? I don't know. We'll see. Duncan is an eBay master. I've been on eBay 17 years now, so I know the ins and outs of the platform. And Liz does have a point. She is all boutique, so it's all new with tags and boutique. Yeah, she has her issues. Everyone has her issues. And last year was hard too. Boutique does better, I feel, on Poshmark. I do over 35 to 5,000 a month on Poshmark with Thrifting alone. No boutique, right? Liz, I don't know how Liz does it either. Share all your secrets. I feel like eBay for me and most sellers is just where it's at. And time, right? I think you can do it. The months that I had a lot on Poshmark, I was doing a lot on Poshmark, all of the activities, right, that you have to do. All right. So what are you guys working on this week?
What are you up to this week?
So actually last night I did a challenge to like list 50 things, and I started at 2:30 and I got them done. Like I was like so like proud of myself to get 50 things listed. I don't know how I did it, but I did, and I was like so excited. So that's what I did yesterday, I guess.
That is wild. How long did it take you? That's wild. How long did that take you?
Well, so I started at 2:30 and I went till 10 o'clock. I got done like right at 10. So
That's
yeah,
not
it
bad.
was. Yeah, I mean, I had like everything in my spreadsheet already, and everything was cleaned. So all I had to do was take pictures, list, and then put in my inventory system. But yeah, we're going on vacation here in a few weeks, and so I wanted to get some of my death pile done so that I could go shopping while I was there. So that was kind of some motivation to get my death pile listed. So
It's a good excuse.
yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. So did you actually list all of them, or did you like do drafts for things so you have stuff when you're on vacation? Because I know people like to do that too.
Yeah, so I just listed everything, and I actually probably need to like go back because I was getting really tired. So there might be some like mistakes in my listing, so I need to go back through everything. But I have in the past actually done that where you do like the drafts. I actually went to my grandma and grandpa's for a whole week, and I was able to come back and ship. So I listed like 5 drafts every day and had like 3 or 4 sales each day. So I mean that's a good thing too. Like if you're going somewhere. And you're not gone for a long time where you can still ship within the 5 days, that's a good thing to do too.
Yeah. So on Poshmark, and I don't know how Mercari works. You don't have to like eBay. You set your handling time, and you have to like do it in that part of time. Poshmark, you have is it like 10 days or something, right, before they'll cancel the item, right?
Yeah, I think it's 10.
Okay.
I think after a couple days they send you an Instagram because I've gotten one of those and I'm like, it's just not tracking yet because I already.
Yeah.
But I think after 10 days, which is the nice thing to know, because then you can take a vacation, and if you have your drafts ready, you can spend 10 minutes on your vacation and still have sales to come in. Oh, thank you, Melissa. Poshmark is 7. What about Mercari? How does Mercari work for that? What do you guys do for vacations?
I think Mercari is 3 days.
Oh,
3 or 5 days to allow you to ship. And then I don't think they automatically cancel it. I've never reached that point where I haven't shipped anything, but I feel like the buyer has to request a cancellation at that point.
Oh, Melissa.
3?
3.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah. That's what I said.
Thanks, Melissa. Well, that's interesting. So then if you are Mercari, can you do vacation mode on Mercari then? If you go on vacation, you just have to turn it off, or?
You can bulk deactivate all of your listings. So you can just do select all and deactivate, but they won't show up anywhere until you reactivate them.
Got it. And does it ever? I've considered eventually when the pandemic's over, we'll take a vacation. And so I've like in the past pre-pandemic, I was only on Poshmark and was like a pretty serious casual seller, but I was like, if I take a week off, I take a week off now. But now I'm like, I don't want to mess with the algorithm. I don't want to take a week off. And so I'm like, eventually we're going to go on vacations again. So how do you go on vacation? Lauren does drafts on Mercari and Poshmark, but Logan, like you're on eBay. Do you have employees? So like someone could be working while you're not there? No.
No, just me. So if I go on vacation, Brandon will cover the shipping. But it'll require me being on FaceTime with him because he doesn't really know how to do the shipping.
Is that your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Well, but what if you go on vacation together? Can you go on vacation together?
Yeah, we'll just set eBay on. We'll either extend our handling time, because right now our handling time is 1 day. Mm-hmm. We'll either extend it to 7 or 10 days if it's just a short vacation. If it's a long vacation, we'll just go on vacation mode because we have a store, so we can go on vacation mode.
Does it completely kill it? Like, no, it's okay. Like,
it's that stupid little notification at the top that says the seller is on vacation until such and such date. but they can still purchase it. And they don't usually read that. So as soon as someone purchases something, I'll immediately send them a message and say, hey, just want to let you know, we are on vacation. In case you didn't see the notification, this won't ship until this date. If this is an issue, please let me know and we can cancel on your behalf.
Interesting. So, but like when you come back, your sales go back to normal? Because that's what I'm always scared of.
I feel like it takes a couple days. Not necessarily for eBay because everything's still active, but Poshmark for sure takes a couple days to get back to good activity.
Poshmark is whatever. I'm more concerned about eBay because I'm like, I've spent so much time getting eBay like consistent sales and like massaging the algorithm and stuff that I don't want to take a vacation. Eveless is saying they're huge eBay sellers. They have warehouse and everything. Extending handling time on eBay is what many do, or using time away. Yeah, so when I've done like long weekends, I've done the handling time thing. And even like every night I go in and like take it down one day as the vacation gets closer. But we've never taken like a long vacation. I've considered training someone to be like how to ship, right? So that they can just get like my niece or something can come over and ship. I've gotten everything very organized. So hopefully, but I'm like you, like that last year, towards the end of the year, I was sick and had to get a COVID test. And so they're like, you had to be isolated. I was like, oh no, I had packages. So I was like walking my husband through it until I got my test, and he was like panicked mode. He's like, okay, I can do this. And I was like, you just pulled it. Like, but it's things that we're just so used to. Right. And he's like, well, first class and priority. I'm like, it's all set up. You just have to like press the button and pull it. But then I got my COVID test back before the 1 day handling. So then I could go ship. But he was like completely freaked out about it.
He knows how to put it in our accounting spreadsheet and print the labels. He knows that, and he knows where to find stuff. It's the actual like how to pack it that would maybe be, he would need some assistance.
Well, yeah, right. With all your guys' stuff. With mine, it's like you seal it and put it in a poly mailer, right? And you can't go wrong unless it has to be a flat rate. Then you get in trouble. But then they charge you, right? Like if you put it in the wrong package, you might get charged a couple of bucks on your account or something. But I've considered, once the pandemic's over, is getting like a shipper, not all the time, but just so I could actually take a vacation, because that's kind of the hard thing when you run your own business, right? Like it's all you. Melissa's saying my husband would have a small farm if he had to ship for me. That's funny. I wrote down a question and now I forget. Okay, let's talk about sourcing. So Lauren, you said garage sales. And I know you're in rural, so do you guys have thrift stores, or do you do other kinds of sourcing, or are you strictly garage sale type of seller?
Yeah, so we only have like 2 thrift stores in my city. And then if I want to go to like a Goodwill, there's one like an hour and a half away, but it's not very good. So we have to drive like 3 hours to go to a pretty good one. So I like to go to thrift stores when I can, but in the summertime, since I don't have school, I have more time to spend on it. And so garage sales is where it's at. That's where I go most of the time. And then sometimes like I'll go on Facebook Market, like not really Marketplace. There's some like local pages, like buy sell trade pages and stuff, that sometimes I'll like find big trash bags full of clothing, and then I'll just buy the whole thing sight unseen and then go through it. And that's kind of fun because it's a little bit of a mystery, but that's kind of, I guess, some of the ways that I source. I don't really, it's totally different, like living in the middle of nowhere compared to someone that has like 5 or 6 Goodwills really close to them. So it's been a little bit of a challenge to find good inventory, but it's still fun. So.
Yeah, and you also have, I don't know where you live, but like garage sales is more of a summer thing too, right? Where,
yeah,
unless it's nice all the time, but like I live in Colorado, it's the winter, there's not garage sales until come, late spring, which makes it hard too.
Yep.
How many active listings do you have, Lauren?
So it kind of fluctuated, since I listed 50 things yesterday. I think of like 600. I don't know. I don't know like the exact number, but.
So you are like legit selling. You're not just like, oh, I'll list something every once in a while. And you're probably making fairly consistent sales and like a boss in high school.
Yeah, it just depends. Typically I'll do like 700 a month. like total like net profit, but I mean, I'm not where I'd like to be, but then again, I have to think, okay, I am in school, so it's I don't have like full-time hours to work on everything, but I don't know. I mean, there's ways to improve, but I'm pretty happy where I am right now. So
That's more than I was making in high school. I mean, granted, the minimum wage, my first job was like $2.12. So
yeah,
minimum wage, I mean, it was a waitress job. So, waitress minimum wage, but yeah, that's as a side hustle. And the more that you put into it, like if you have the summer and you have more time, you're not having to work on other people's, but you do YouTube also, right?
yeah. So I just started my YouTube channel like 2 months ago, I think. So it's really fun too.
Yeah, which is also another full-time job.
Oh yeah, yep, it is definitely. Editing is what takes the most time. So
Yeah, I just quit doing that. I don't know if you guys noticed, but my videos, sometimes I'm standing there for a second and I'm like, I'm not going to edit that out.
it's real life. Yeah.
Yeah. But some people, if you enjoy it, I don't enjoy it. If you enjoy the editing, I think some people like that creative outlet. I just think it's annoying.
Yeah.
And you're probably, I mean, you like grew up on YouTube, right? Like you have such an advantage. I'm always jealous of like the younger crowd because YouTube has just always been there for you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And I'm like, I don't know how to I don't even know how to like search on YouTube, let alone like do the back end stuff. Well, I'm just in awe of you, Lauren. It is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Logan, you thrift. Where is your other? So you do liquidation, but then where does your other stuff? Are you going out to thrift stores and?
Yeah, so we're in Florida, so garage sales are all year round. So lucky us. So garage sales, estate sales, thrift stores. We buy Nordstrom liquidation pallets. We get clothing in our truckloads. So we get about 2,000 to 3,000 pieces of Target clothing in each truckload. And we, just this past year, at the beginning of the pandemic, we actually bought an entire estate from someone who didn't want to have an estate sale, but wanted to get rid of the stuff. So.
Okay, lots of questions here. So I want to take it back because you mentioned in the beginning too that you went full time right before the pandemic, right? Did I do the timeline right?
Yeah, the end of February last year.
Yeah, so like right before shit hit the fan. But how did you get to the point? So you were probably doing it like part time on top of your full time job. How did you get to the point where you felt like you could make it? Because what you're talking about is a lot of capital up front. Like to buy a whole truckload.
Yeah.
Like I buy a pallet and I'm like, that's a lot of money. I can only imagine a truckload. Like how do you get, and you don't have to, I mean, disclose as much as you feel comfortable with. Oh, sorry. Doctor's appointment reminder. I mean, disclose as much as you feel comfortable with, but getting to that point, I think a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be a full-time seller. You have to be able to be so far ahead to like, there's a lot of capital up front, or like you have a bad month, a pandemic hits, like, walk us through a little bit of like that timeline and how you got to that point and made that decision.
So, well, timeline wise, we started reselling. I have it in my notes. Hold on. Late 2018. So fall of 2018, we started reselling. We didn't know that it was really called reselling. We were flipping clearance items from Target and Walmart. So we spent an hour or so scouring the store to find one or two things. And we were living on my boat. So we had limited space to store things. So we had a storage unit. And then we moved into the house and we had more space and we were like, hey, like, how can we buy bulk clearance items? And we found out about liquidation pallets. So we started with pallets and hard goods. And then a few months into that, I was like, well, what else can we resell? So then I started reselling clothing. So then I started thrifting. I had surgery a couple months before I went full time. So I was out of work for, I think it was 8 weeks. Towards the end of that 8 weeks, I was recovered enough to basically resell full time. So I had built the business up to a point where I had replaced my income. I worked for a nonprofit. I wasn't making a lot of money. Environmental nonprofit, if that says anything. I was making less than I could make if I went down to Target and got a regular like cashier job.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a lot to replace on a monthly income basis. So I had replaced my income already. I went back to work, back to all the stress, and I was like, nope. I was so relaxed, so happy when I was out for surgery. And I quit. I put my 2 weeks in and I was like, no, this isn't for me. I've replaced my income, so I'm not worried about the finances. But if I hadn't done that in the timeline that it happened in, I would have been furloughed for COVID anyway. So timing wise, it worked out really well because I had built the business up while I was off for surgery to a point where once COVID hit, if I was going to lose my job anyway, I had replaced my income. So as far as capital, pallets has a pretty large ROI. You can buy one. So for reference, we buy like Target GM general merchandise pallets for about $300 a piece. And we can sell off that pallet for anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000. So our ROI on that pallet is really, really good.
Yeah, so how much comes in a pallet for Target? Because $300 is pretty low. Like your average.
It's usually like 100 to 150 items.
Yeah, so that's a really low cost of goods. Where because you said you did Nordstrom rack stuff too. That stuff's probably a little bit higher per item.
Yeah, we pay like $5 or $6 a piece.
Yeah.
So we had capital built up in the business from liquidation. Moving into the warehouse and buying truckloads was a whole nother story. We didn't have the liquid cash available to do that. My previous coworker, her husband is an investor. So he was kind enough to help us out and give us a small loan to buy the first truckload.
And then were you able, I'm imagining if your pallet has a big of a return than a whole truckload, that you were probably pretty quickly able to kind of get back on your feet after doing that once or twice.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a lot of processing, and you do it by yourself. Well, your boyfriend helps.
Yeah. So I process most of the day after listing clothing. I always make sure I do both in the same day. And then he'll come after work for a few hours. We can process out a truckload in about 2 weeks. All 24.
So you said stress, and you were very stressed at your other job and you quit. But is this less stressful?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, because I'm just imagining
more hours.
Yes. Okay, but it's on your time and it's something that you want to do.
Yeah, I'm not. If you've ever worked for a nonprofit, anyone that's listening, you have like 3 job titles for your one, 8-hour day job.
Yeah.
So I was doing 3 jobs, well, more than 3 really, and being pulled in all kinds of directions, getting severely underpaid for it. So yeah, it's just a lot of mental and emotional stress. Here, I'll have like certain times of the day where I'm a little stressed, where I'm like, oh shoot, I really wanted to get that done. But at the end of the day, like, it's my business. So if I didn't get it done, I didn't get it done. I limit myself. Like, I have a closing time for the warehouse. At the end of the day, I go home, I forget about the business besides, sending offers and stuff on my phone. But yeah, it's longer hours, but it's on my own time.
And no one's coming down on you either, right? Like, you're the boss. Like, you're gonna yell at yourself. Some of us are probably kind of hard on
or like I can.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. And that's kind of what I feel. I feel like a lot of people are like, I want to quit corporate America and do my own thing. It's not less hours. Like, I was in corporate America before, and I did, teaching stuff before, which isn't a nonprofit, but I feel like it's kind of similar to a nonprofit where you're doing like lots of different things for no pay and everyone's yelling at you, and parents, teachers, administration, all of the things, right? But so you'll probably work more hours in your doing something on your own, but it's on your time and you're doing it how you want. You don't have someone coming down on it for you, right? So Duncan's giving some good eBay tips back in our conversation a little bit ago. Lauren, when you do eBay, the first thing is to build the account feedback by buying a few cheap things from other eBay sellers. Yeah, that's once you get to so many feedback, you'll see eBay pick up. 0 feedback accounts are targets for scammers. So don't list the pricey items on eBay when you're beginning there. That is very valid. I just started listing things and then I definitely had scammers. How long does it take you to ship? This is one of the things, and it sounds wild, but I don't want to grow my business any bigger because I don't want to spend any more time shipping. Like until I can pay someone to ship, I think I don't want to be shipping anymore. Like I don't mind how much I do now. It's about like a half hour a day, weekends, about an hour. But I don't want to do more than that. So how long do you ship every day?
Average, it'll take me about an hour and a half every day, hour and a half to 2 hours. But it's honestly like one of my favorite parts of the day. I just get to put music on, or I put Clubhouse on, and listen to conversations or music while I do it. I've gotten pretty quick at it. So that hour and a half, I'm shipping. Normally our average daily sales is about 20 that go out. And not all clothing. So it's not just slide in a bag. So I've gotten it down to a pretty decent amount of time. But it's also when I get to put everything in the spreadsheet and see what our daily and monthly sales are, projected to be. So it's kind of like the most exciting part of the day for me. So I love it. I would ship for like 5 hours if I had enough, purchases.
Yeah, that's kind of funny because I update my dashboard every day too. So I like that part. Like once that's all done, and I don't mind shipping, but after half an hour, I'm like, okay, this is like boring. And once I think I'd have to get much more organized and not be able to do it with my kids around, because once I get so many, then that's when I start to make mistakes, right? Because you have so many and then I accidentally grab the thing and I don't check it, or, you have to be much more diligent, I think, when you have so many more packages to do. Lauren, if there's kids that are watching, not kids, you're not a kid, teenagers maybe, new people to resellers, or, even teenagers that are or anyone who's like, I want a little bit of a side hustle. How do I get into this? How do I do this? What kind of advice do you have for those kind of people?
Yeah, so if you're just starting, the tip I tell everybody, and I've told my friends this because some of them might want to do it as well. When I first started, I literally was just selling my own clothing. So honestly, reselling you don't really have to have a bunch of money to start out, you can get free shipping supplies from the USPS, from their website, and then you can just sell your own stuff, or if you don't want to sell your own stuff, you could ask family members for different things. That's what I did too. It's really simple. Just I think the best advice is just to get started, because I wanted to start a few months before I actually did, and I was like, oh no, I don't know, I'm not old enough, whatever. Just kept coming up with excuses, and then when I started, I was like, man, I wish I would have started a few months ago. So I think you just really have to start. You're gonna make mistakes. Everybody, I think, does that when you first start, but just start and then it'll be good. So
did you follow any, I know you don't have Instagram and maybe not Facebook or anything, but YouTube, obviously there's so many resellers on there. Did you follow any resellers and kind of learn from them? Because it's such an amazing world where you have all of this information available. And so you can learn that way, or did you kind of just jump in and figure it out?
Yeah, so I was watching a lot of Jenna from Empty Hanger. I love watching her videos. She doesn't really post as much now, but I would always go and watch her what sold videos. Because then once I was reselling for a while and actually going to the thrift store to buy inventory, I was really watching her videos to see what brands are selling for her, which of course some of those brands I've never come across just because I live in the middle of nowhere. So the brands I come across aren't as great. But with YouTube, you can always be learning different brands and everything. So that's really cool about it is, you can learn all day long. So
it's overwhelming. Like
It
I
is.
get so
Yeah.
overwhelming. And Logan, you mentioned Clubhouse. I had to stop. It's too much. I just can't. Because I'm not one. People are like, oh, put it on in the background. And I can't just passively listen to things. I like want to be involved, or like, you know, or someone says something and I'm like, I need to write that down. Like I can't, I had to like pull back from Clubhouse. It's too much. I know it's amazing for a lot of people, but I was like, I can only do so many social media things right now, and YouTube and Instagram. Sometimes I post on TikTok if I want to make something for Instagram. But I can't. But it's amazing the amount of knowledge that is out there for you guys to learn on. And Lauren, you mentioned what sold videos. Would you prefer what sold video or a haul video? This is purely for my content purposes.
Yeah. I like both. Now I like watching more like haul videos probably. But I mean they're both good. I watch both. I mean, I watch so much reselling content that I mean, I have my favorite resellers that every time they post I like watch all their videos. So, but yeah, I don't know, probably hauls.
Yeah. Lauren, you shook your head too. Do you have a preference? Do you watch a lot of YouTube?
I prefer both too. If it's like a longer haul, I'll put it on in the background while I'm doing something else. But what sold videos is actually telling people what's selling. So I think they're both have a lot of value.
And that I tend to lean towards what sold videos, but even then I'm always not great about posting them. But I feel like if I show you everything that I bought, like it doesn't mean that it's going to make me anything, right? Does that help? Like here's a brand that I'm going to have sit on my shelf and end up donating back to the Goodwill. Like I don't follow through until like, you know, so like I prefer to see what sold videos too. But I'm also a numbers person, right? So I want to see like what dollar amount is associated with that. And if it makes sense for me. As like hearing other people, it blows my mind that people watch. Like I never was on YouTube, never really followed it. I started my own channel before I even really watched other YouTubers, and people like post a haul video. I'm like, why do people want to see what I got at the thrift store? Like it was so confusing to me. But even non-resellers, I have a couple cousins that are like, oh, we just like watching what you get at thrift stores. We're not resellers. We're not going to buy it. We're not, but it's just really interesting to see what you find. You can find anything on YouTube, right? Great job, Logan and Lori. Typically have 1,000 listings, generates $250 in sales per day. Oh, there we go. Lauren, not Lauren. I was gonna say his wife's name is Lori. So I wondered if he had done that. That's funny. Yeah, I think it depends. I mean, well, it's interesting, and we can talk a little bit about this because Logan, you know your numbers. It depends on your average sale price and on your sell-through rate, what you're going to be at, right? If you're hitting that $250 in sales, if you have a lot of active listings that aren't great, like you have a really crappy sell-through rate, that's not going to be the case. I think it's kind of great that there's I'd never heard that before, but that there's like a generic, it reminds me of, we're going through refinancing our house right now, and they're like, for every $10,000, you know, it seems like that. But do you feel like that's about what it is for you? Or do you know?
It's really hard for me to say because like I have 1,800 active listings that's just clothing, because we split our accounting for the two sides of the business, so it's hard to like combine the two in my head. I probably have over 2,000 listings on Facebook Marketplace. That's liquidation. So combined.
On Facebook Marketplace?
Yes. So we sell all of our liquidation on Facebook Marketplace.
Wow. Do you do pickups too, or not just now since they've done shipping?
Yeah. So we're open to the public.
Oh, right. Yeah, you said that.
But most of our sales in the warehouse are pre-scheduled pickups. So every single item, it's that way.
I have no idea. You could have pointed up, and I didn't.
Every single item out of the truckload gets individually listed on Facebook Marketplace. So I do that too. So I process and list every single item in the truckload, which is somewhere between like 10 to 20,000 items in total. So at one time, I probably have a couple thousand Facebook Marketplace listings. And we normally exceed, 5 figures a month in gross sales. Yeah. So I would say that's probably about right. I don't know what 250 a day for the whole year is. What does that come out to?
We can do the math. Well, and you're on multiple platforms as well too, right? So that's going to increase your sell-through rate because you're having more exposure as well. 250 times 365.
Yeah, so we're above that. That comes out to like 91,000 a year in gross sales. This year, and I wasn't full time for the whole year. We didn't have the warehouse the whole year. We hit 96,000. We were just under.
You can round that up. You can round that up. You're a 6. Once you go 0.5, right? Or a 5, right? So then you can.
Yeah.
My husband's like, your rounding's ridiculous. We'll talk about time. And I'm like, well, it's 9:15, which is basically 9:30. And 9:30, if you round up, okay, it's 10 o'clock. What? I think I'm a little bit above that as well, but I sell on multiple platforms. So I wonder if that's specifically just eBay, right? Like if you were just on eBay, maybe that would be closer because you wouldn't have as much exposure. Logan, do you use an app that automatically cross lists between platforms?
So I use List Perfectly. So it doesn't automatically cross list. You have to, it just copies the listing over and you still have to go through it and enter a few things, but yeah.
And why don't you use it? Oh, you said there was issues because when I was using it, one of the big reasons that I liked it was the data management, right? So it had all of your listings in there, but you said you had issues with that. So that makes sense why you don't do it. We are wrapping up. So if there is any, Sir Flips a lot. I have asked him to come on. So now we're going to give him a little peer pressure. He wants to check out and make sure that it's something he wants to participate in. Just kidding. I won't be too mean. But I'd love to have you on. I love talking to all kinds of different people. So if you guys don't follow Sir Flips a lot, he has great content on Instagram and YouTube as well. I love having all kinds of different people on. I think he does a lot of retail arbitrage, which is fascinating to me because I have tried it once or twice and I'm just not good at it. It did not work out very good for me. So Logan, so List Perfectly is your hub. Yes, but you don't like delist stuff on there.
I just don't delete the listings from there. So I don't use it. I really don't use it for inventory management, which I know is really bad because it does have that ability. But I draft all of my listings in List Perfectly, and then I push them out to all of the platforms from there.
We have one more question for you, Logan. How did you choose Facebook Marketplace over Amazon or eBay for liquidation?
So Amazon is super particular about the condition of the items. So liquidation it was liquidated for a reason, right? So it's either overstock, which could be brand new boxes. They could be in perfect condition. Those are definitely, you're able to sell on Amazon. So we do sell on Amazon too, some stuff. So if it's overstock, you potentially could sell it on Amazon. If it's shelf pull, it was pulled off the shelf because it either got damaged or it's dirty. If it's box damage, it's box damage. So you can't sell that on Amazon. And then if it's open box or if it's lightly used, you can't sell those on Amazon either. For most products, Amazon does not want you to be selling them open box or used. So that's why we don't list them on Amazon. eBay, we're very particular about what we list on eBay for the liquidation just because of the shipping. So Marketplace has really good shipping rates. Anything like that's going to cost us over $20 to ship just gets sold locally. We don't even offer shipping on it. And Facebook Marketplace is giving a lot of platforms a run for their money right now.
I've heard that. But that's going to change eventually, right? Like they're going to have to start making money.
Yeah. But it definitely surprised us. I mean, we've been on Facebook Marketplace selling liquidation for a couple of years. And just this past couple months, it's definitely taken off. We have shipping on Marketplace also. And it's just surprising. Things that don't sell in the warehouse or that we can only sell for like $5 in the warehouse will sell on Marketplace with shipping for like $20 in a day. So it's pretty crazy.
It's so wild how things just sell so different everywhere, right? Like it's just wild. So lower fees then, right there.
It's 5%.
Yeah. That's going to change though, because Mercari started really low and then they were like, oh, wait, like it costs us money to run this business. We have to increase our fees, right? Like, but take advantage of it while you can, right? It's learning another thing. I don't actually like shopping on Facebook Marketplace anymore. It's so confusing to me now. Like, I just want to locally pick something up really quick, and it takes me forever.
Yeah. They really, right now, everyone that ships on Marketplace is like guinea pigs for the system. They're constantly upgrading and adding features and changing the algorithms and all that stuff. So once they get settled in a little bit, I think it'll be easier to shop on. Right now, the biggest complaint is that, people message us on stuff and they're like, oh shoot, sorry, I'm in California, thinking that it was local. So they really need to do a better job of distinguishing to the buyers where that item is located, and that it would have to be shipped. Because I'll have it available for shipping, and they'll say, oh, well, I have it available for shipping if you're interested. And then they ghost because they're just not interested in having it shipped.
And
so
I would say,
tell them that.
Yes. And from the buyer's perspective, I would say that, because I used to, maybe like a year ago, I would get a lot of kids items that I'm like, I don't want to spend $7 to ship, but a lot of moms are like getting rid of, all of these random kid things. You could always find good deals on there. And the past couple times I've gone on, I'm scrolling through and I go to it and then I'm like, oh crap, I have to ship this. Well, I want to pay $7. Like, they do need to upgrade and figure out how to better do that. Cause like, I don't want to pay to ship things. If I did, I would have just gone on eBay. Like, I'm fine on eBay. I know how to do eBay. Well, we are wrapping up. I thank you guys so much for coming on. If anybody in the chat or is watching this in the recording, this is open to anyone who would like to come on. So send me a DM. Very casual. We were just chatting about, reselling life here, and everything that it takes to be a full-time reseller with a warehouse, to a reseller as a high school student as well. So send me a DM if you would like to come on. If you like content like this, and then my pre-recorded videos are focused on helping you resell and learn your numbers and use your numbers to make the money that you want to make. From being a side hustle to a full-time reseller, knowing your numbers is important. And I kind of walk you through how to learn your numbers, what they mean, and how to use them in your reselling business. So if you like content like that, make sure to hit that subscribe button, the notifications, hit that thumbs up. Saving and sharing also helps the algorithm. So if you like this content, you think other people would as well, that will help this video get more exposure and more people to see it, and I would greatly appreciate it. Before we head out, Logan and Lauren, if there's any last pieces of advice, or if you guys want to do any shameless self-promotion, I will have both of your links, your Instagram. No, Lauren's only on YouTube, so I will have her YouTube. I actually remembered. I did this on Saturday. I don't usually think that far ahead, but their links are in the description. I did it on Saturday. So their links are in the description if you guys want to follow them and contact them. But if you guys have any shameless self-promotions that you want to do before we leave.
You guys can find us in our Instagram link. We don't use social media too much because I have enough to do with the business. And we don't have a YouTube channel, so you can join our Facebook page. It's just Coastal Resell on Facebook. That's where we list all of our liquidation stuff. So if you guys like Target home goods and don't mind them being shipped, go to our Facebook page.
Yep. And then for me, I just have YouTube. So if you want to check me out, I'm at Call It Favor here on YouTube. So,
well, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening and a great week. I'll see you guys next week.
Thanks.